Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar. I'm Keng Hua, the host. This webinar is hosted by Cambodia Chamber of Commerce and our Reviewers Academy. Today, our topic will be presenting personal branding through visual communication. Okay, it will be by Miss Adele Chong. Okay, so what we're going to, okay, I guess what we have is that human beings are visual creature, and so a lot of studies has found that more than 80% of human communication is non-verbal, from the body language to the tone of voice. So how do we present ourselves, especially now that we are doing a lot of Zoom? So how we do it on screen. So you get important tips from Miss Adele on the non-verbal communication and how visual communication like clothing, online social etiquette are just as important as how you choose your word, your elevator pitch in communicating who you are. Okay, so let me introduce Miss Adele Chong. Okay, she's a seasoned marketing communication practitioner, then certified strength and career coach. She started Strength Compass, a boutique coaching out where she embarked on her passion in coachingship. Okay, she believes that everyone has potential to shine when given the opportunity to thrive on their strength. So her work journey with individuals to help discover or rediscover who they are and be the guiding beacons in guiding them to engage and realize their full potential. So whether you are on a career transition or you seek clarity in your career direction, or a seasonal working professional wanting a breakthrough in professional life, Adele will bring about a heightening sense of self-awareness, self-empowerment, and self-leadership to the client. So she's a certified image consultant where she helps her client up their personal and professional branding image. So without further ado, let us welcome Miss Adele for the speech. Yeah, Adele, you can take over now. Thank you.
Welcome to another session of personal development with Reviewers Academy, and thank you, Keng Hua, again for inviting me to share. So as shared, I am the principal coach as well as the founder of Strength Compass, a boutique coaching agency, coaching outfit rather, really with the aim of helping individuals to be the best version of themselves. And one of the things that I do is really on personal branding, and there are two folds to personal branding, which again I will share in my slides later on. But today we're just going to focus on one part of it, and that's personal branding through visual communications. Right. So a little bit about myself. So this is me, and I wear two hats. 2 years ago, I was in the corporate environment for about 15 to 16 years, managing most of the marketing, communications aspect of work in B2B environment. And 2 years ago, I was caught to a vision that, hey, I think I want to do something different. I want to be able to contribute and value add more to people around me. So I was caught to a vision to want to help individuals who do not have that confidence that, hey, they are good enough. So in fact, I feel and I know that everyone have their own uniqueness. And I want to bring out that uniqueness and the talent to each and everyone who come to me for help. So really it's about unleashing themselves from the inside out and helping them with their personal as well as professional well-being. So therefore, I started Strength Compass 2 years ago. And in addition, I also double hat as the marketing person, as the go-to personal styling person for my family business. So in the picture you see at the bottom is actually my father, and we've been running this bespoke tailoring business in Singapore for the past 45 years or more. Yeah, so we've been around in this industry and quite respectable as a bespoke tailor. And one of the things to do is, other than helping individuals, is to also help the family business to brand the business to a different level. And this is also part of the personal branding and business branding that I do. In addition, I'm also taking up apprenticeship, learning from my father on how to really make a suit and a shirt and a pants. Yeah, so double hatting in a couple of roles, but that's essentially me as in a nutshell. And I'm very excited to be able to share a bit of my journey and also how personal branding with the coaching work that I do has also helped me personally, my loved ones, and the family business to move to a different level of visibility out in the marketplace. And that will also, hopefully this session will also be able to help you. Right. So in this session, we'll cover you, of course, right? It's a personal branding. We'll look at first impression. What first impression do you want to give or have you given? What is the body language that, are telltale signs that, hey, you're not confident, or hey, you're actually very confident, right? How do you package yourself visually to give the impression that, hey, this is a very well-groomed, disciplined, or I think he or she kind of sloppy, right? And because we are now, because of COVID and even pre-COVID, there are more and more companies going on video conferencing, and now with COVID, right? Every one of us are going on Zoom, whether is it business Zoom, interview Zooms, or social Zooms. How do we then create that digital impression to others, right? And there must be a coherence with how you are in person, offline, and also how you are online. So we'll cover this within this 15 minutes session, and hopefully I want to leave the session with you thinking, oh, these are the tips that I can set myself up for success. In terms of when I'm in a Zoom or when I prepare for my job interview, I should get these things ready. Understand the body language, how you should be using them to your best advantage, and what you should not be doing. Dress to impress for sure, and how do you brand you online and offline. Right. So maybe for start, since we have about 18 participants today, and we have a chat function, can I maybe have some of you to volunteer, to share with me like your name and what you do and one interesting thing about you. You can just type into the chat box. Okay, so I'd like to know some of the participants who are here today. Anyone would like to volunteer to give an introduction of yourself, your name, what you do, and one interesting thing about you. You can unmute and you can share over voice, or if you're shy, you can type in the chat.
Okay, anyone who want to speak can raise your hand. I can unmute and allow you to speak. Yeah. Any volunteers?
Anyone? I have more.
One that is administrative staff.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think they are quite shy.
No, I think it's
kind the one that raised his hand. Yes.
They take time.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Sorry, I need to check who raised. Okay, yeah.
Oh, we have the president of Cambodia joining us. Thank you. Yes, that's right, Mayes. I agree with you. Only education can help to change the world. Any more? There's no right or wrong. It's really introduction.
One that's HR service manager.
Yes.
Yes, and him is a manager of business information center. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they are working in. Yes. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more? Okay, no worries. Well, essentially, thank you for those who have shared. Well, so from the sharing, I can see we have one more coming in.
SEO marketing.
Right. Okay. Yeah. As personal branding will also help in SEO marketing. In fact, they work hand in hand today.
Startup founder here.
Wow. Right. So you can also apply personal branding to your startup businesses, right? Because it's about why you're starting up this business, what it represents. So hopefully you're able to get some takeaway from the session as well. Yeah. Siok. Chia Siok, right? Yeah. So she says she's a connector. That's a really, really powerful characteristic and traits that you have. Yeah, because that shows that you are a great networker, and it's very essential today in this in this digital age, whether you are connecting people virtually or you're connecting people in person. Yeah, great. Okay, great. I think we have enough people who joined, who contributed, and thank you for sharing and introducing yourself. So yes, why do we do this exercise? So essentially, it's about telling the other party, the receiver party, or people whom you've been around, or in a social setting, or even on a Zoom setting, who you are. Let me share screen. Okay, is my screen shared? Yes, it is, right?
Yep.
Uh, hang on. How come I cannot move to the next slide?
Or you want to unshare and share it again?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah. So this is essentially telling the other party who you are and what you stand for. Right. So it's really your personal brand. And as I mentioned earlier, the personal branding comes in multiple segments, and usually it starts from inwards. And it's about who you are, why are you made this way, what are your strengths, what are your unique characteristics that somehow involuntarily being show up in the action that you do, in the behavior, and also in the tone of voice that, or the words that you speak and you say, and also the way that you carry yourself through your appearance. So for this session, we're just going to again focus on the visual comms, which is on two things: your appearance and also your body language. Yeah. Okay, so really, the visual part of it, of your personal brand, is how you look, how you speak, and how you act. Right. Okay, so maybe I can also have this question posed to the floor. So on first impression, how much of the first impression is based on how we behave, how we speak, and what we say? You can actually type in the chat box to give a rough percentage. So I can also have a feel of, what you think would be the percentage of um, what you think, like, okay, say for example, 33% is how we speak, 67% is how we behave, and none is on the words that we use. So you can type in the chat box, and I can see some of the response. So again, how much of a first impression do you think, we're being judged on from the way we behave, which is act, the way we speak, and the words that we use, or what we say? Anyone? Okay, yes, first impression is about 80%, but how much of it is being broken down to the behavior, to the speech, and to the words? Kim Hwa, maybe you want to also like think about the percentage, and I want to hear your thoughts as well. Ah, okay. Interesting. Mm-hmm. 20, 60. Oh, 60 is what we say. 20 is how we behave and how we speak. Okay. Ah, okay. We've got 100% from Pav Chandavin, right? Yeah. Okay, that's 110%. Good, good, good. Well, you guys give really quite interesting numbers, yeah, but I'm going to share with you the research numbers, yeah? Okay, let me share with you the research numbers in the next slide. Okay, I think I have to constantly toggle between slides. Yes. So really based on, and this is a study has been done since the 1970s, and based on Professor Albert in the University of California in Los Angeles, he did a study and it's found that 55% of first impression are made based on what we see, the visual part of it. And really the visual is the whole entire body, and therefore body percent of the 80% of the first impression that most people form. And 30% accounts for the things, the tonality, the voice, which is the vocal, and of that 80% of the first impression. And really, in terms of the actual spoken words, the verbal piece, only 7% sort of stays with the person when you meet the person for the first time. So the first impression is really of the 80% of the 100% in total. It's really a big part of it is based on body language, which is the reason why it's critical for us to recover the personal branding through visual communications, focusing more on the body language and the appearance today. Right. So, but how do human beings form that first impression? So usually first impression, because it takes like how many seconds? 100 milliseconds, and that's actually 1 second, to form that mental snapshot. And scientists or researchers have called this a term called thin slicing, right? So straight away you see a person and you straight away do that instant so-called judgment or impression that, hey, you guess, you have this feeling, right? Oh, this person is competent, this person is likable, this person is confident, just based on that, seconds of impression, whether it's through handshake, whether it's through your photos on your resume, without reading the words. Remember, words only carry 7% of it. So that instant impression that you get is really through that thin slicing. Yeah, and because we're now in a Zoom digital age, right? When we're on the Zoom, more and more our micro expression gave ourselves away in terms of how we gave people that good or bad first impression. And this is one of the key factors to thin slicing. So look at the graphic here. This is the same guy but with different expression. So how do you read from the expression, right? So it's really the involuntary sign of how you actually feel, whether you're frustrated or whether you're excited about this, seminar that you're attending, or you're like, is she making sense? So this slicing contributes to that micro expression, contributes to the thin slicing, which adds up to that first impression of that 55% body language that people will form from you. So be very, very careful how you present yourself digitally, even though you're in a comfort office. Yeah. So what is the new norm now? Is this familiar with everyone? Don't worry, I'm not wearing pajamas today. I'm fully dressed. Yeah, but most of us now would be doing this, right? Dress appropriately, or rather appropriately above, and then we just be very comfortable at the bottom. That's what the men's too, right? I'm sure a lot of you can now relate to this scenario whereby we are on constant calls, Zoom, and it's kind of, in a foot of our own home. Why do we bother to dress up? But there's actually a psychological effect in terms of dressing up. Yeah. So, but this is an acceptable new norm, and people don't have to know on the other end what you're wearing at the bottom. As long as professionally you look good and you look professional top up. Okay, so maybe let me just throw 2 pictures and you let me know your first impression. Okay, what is your impression of this guy? Anyone want to share? And what is your impression of this guy? And assuming that this is a job interview that you are going on a Zoom call, the guy on the left in a t-shirt, he's fully dressed. But look at his body posture and look at the way he dressed. Right? The guy on the right, even though he's not fully dressed, he's still dressed in his pajamas at the bottom. But top up, he's quite professional, right? And he's dressing in a suit and a shirt for an interview. So what kind of impression do you think the hiring manager would have on these two? Just based on impression itself, I think if I'm the hiring manager, I would probably find the guy in the jacket and the suit more pleasing. Yes? Okay. What about this? Just to be fair, I'm gender equal. Okay, what's your impression of this lady versus this lady? So they both have a handshake, hi, I'm so and so, glad to be here. Right. This could be an office call, an office meeting. But then what is the difference in terms of the impression that they give? It seems quite professional, they're well dressed too, but it's the body language. Would you be having a team call with your team members and even with your boss with your hair very untidily done and with your one leg up? So that's not very professional, right? So that's the body language that we are talking about here. Yeah. Okay, so therefore I have to emphasize again, digital impression matters a lot, and especially so in this Zoom era, right? Okay, so how do you then set yourself up for success, in preparing for your upcoming job interview or in preparing for a business engagement on Zoom? Because, a lot of people are working from home these days and clients doesn't want to leave their house and say, hey, can we do a Zoom meeting instead? So these are the few tips that I would recommend, first of all, really select a appropriate business and a virtual backdrop to represent your company or to represent your own personal branding. Oh, yeah, and have a tidy, uncluttered desk so you can actually put notes. You can have a drink next to you. Have a good lighting, which is very important. Clear your gadgets and charge your gadgets well the night before, and make sure you test them for audio and for visual stability. Raise your notebook at the eye level so that when I speak now, I'm looking at all of you at eye level. The same for the other party as well, the same for you. And always remember to put your notification, your WhatsApp, your email on a do not disturb mode to lessen that distraction when you're on a job interview or when you're on a very important business meetings. Right? And these are some of the basic ethics that you should prepare and get ready as you get ready for your setup. Okay? So basic ethic, really, really be well groomed. And not like the lady, with her hair untidily buttoned up, dress appropriately, be mindful of your body language, and always show up early. I'm very glad that we started this webinar at 11. I've seen people dropping in like 5 minutes early. Because I think the earlier you are, you get yourself ready, prepared to do all the sound checks of virtual backdrop ready, and it's a sign of interest. Like when you show up early, it's just like when you have to go for a meeting, you have to be punctual. So showing up punctual says a lot about your interest level and says a lot about discipline too. Right, and always start off with a virtual greetings, a digital handshake like good morning, or a wave. You can raise your hand, in a group chat. We did that exercise earlier. I am who and who. Nice to be here. Which I've also greeted a lot, some of you earlier on in the group chat. And if you're typing, do mute your keyboard so that the other party will not be able to hear because it can be very irritating and distracting. Yeah. Okay. So continue on to body language. Yes. So 60 to 90% of communications is formed through the verbal communication, and that's movements and body gesture, which is what I'm doing here, right? So now these are some of the, I want to just share some of the negative body movement that you must not have on a Zoom call, right? With your arms fold this way, with your eyes looking up, scratching your head when you're on a very important meeting, like you're getting very impatient or getting bored, or just dazing away or doodling away. So what kind of impression would you think you would be giving to the other party, and how would the receiver on the other hand feel? Say, hey, is he or she not interested in this job? Or is he lying? Or is she lying, right? Or is she hiding something that it's not factual? So these are the negative body languages that will actually give yourself away, and it may jeopardize the chance of you getting selected for the next round, or follow up on the next business meeting that could potentially lead to a closed sales. Okay, so an example is here that I've put here. Do you think this is a good body posture? Is it a good posture or is it a bad posture? Can I have maybe someone give a shout out on the group chat? He's well dressed, very appropriately dressed. Too good. Okay. Yeah, it is generally a good posture, but something that we could actually enhance on a little bit is to perhaps raise the computer, his notebook up, so that the camera is still at his eye level. So right now he's more or less looking down. So the eye contact is not that ideal, but generally he has a good posture in terms of getting himself ready for the Zoom chat or a video call. All right, thank you for contributing. Yeah. So again, so this is a body basic language, a body language basic that you need to be mindful of, right? So constantly maintain that good eye contact with a laptop camera or notebook camera. Try to sit or lean forward when the other person is talking, shows that you're engaged and interested in the subject matter. If you pull back or you slouch on the sofa, and if you happen to have your laptop on the sofa, it first of all, it doesn't give you that energy to want to continue on listening to the business, to the seminar. And the other thing is also that you will not be able to focus well. Right? Use hand gesture to express yourself and smile or not appropriate the phone. Okay. Can I move to my next slide? Okay, so again, I can't emphasize enough on body language. So because when we're on a Zoom call, really it's the facial expression that accounts a lot more in terms of that impression that you make. So smile a lot more, because 40% of the people actually consider someone's smile the most memorable. So when you smile, please smile genuinely, right? And your eyes, for ladies, you know, it will be good for you to do a little bit of that eye makeup and mascara, do your eyebrow to make your eyes look a lot sharper and bigger, right? Because a furrowed eyebrow makes you look very untrustworthy. Again, maintain the eye contact, like I mentioned earlier, and hair. Please groom your hair. Men and women, and I think this is the very basic of hygiene as well, and self-care, self-love. And it also goes to show that a healthy, nice, well-groomed hair indicates that discipline and that confidence. Use hand gesture appropriately. And if you're outside in a meeting, always wear a watch, because it shows that you're very mindful of time and you respect the other people's time as well. Yeah. Okay. So we talk about body language, you know, the facial expression in earlier part of the webinar. Now, as we move to the next part of the webinar is really about dressing the part as well, dressing for that digital impression or the first impression that you want to create. And I love Brian Tracy's quote here. And Brian Tracy is actually a motivational speaker. And because he's a motivational speaker, he is very mindful of how he dresses to make that impression and how he grooms himself to make that impression. And he has this book called Earn What You're Really Worth. And it's really about personal branding and being able to be out there telling and showing that, hey, you're worth this much, you know, in terms of your capability. And I encourage all of you to actually read this book, because that will give you some insights into really how you can up your self-esteem, up your self-confidence, and also up your personal branding to a different level. So really, clothes make the man. And I would like to encourage all of you to give some thought to your dressing, even though now most of us are actually on Zoom, right? So work from home. Your typical work from home policy, work from home attire wouldn't be what you'll be wearing in the office, right? It will be what we've mentioned and showed earlier, you know, professionally dressed, top up, and comfortably dressed, bottom down, right? But should we dress this way? So this is something that um, it's really personal, but I've always encouraged my candidates and my clients to, you know, have the decency to be able to dress full, because it shows a different psychological effect on you when you're dressed full instead of, you know, half dressed from the bottom up, right? Okay, So if you were to meet these individuals, ladies and gentlemen, in person, what kind of impression will you form of them? Definitely very professional, very confident, right? They seem to know what they are doing. And these are actually people who are actually going for job interviews. Except for the second guy who's actually going for business meetings, right? Can you dress the same way online? You can, without having to, go through so much. Yes, they're very professionally dressed, without having to go through the whole ordeal of, getting on your shoes, putting on a perfume, you can still be appropriately dressed even when you work from home and professionally dressed. So I'm going to show you some tips. Yeah. Okay. So how do you then dress smart? So I have this capsule wardrobe thing, and this really works for a lot of people, whether it's a man or women, and whether you are preparing your wardrobe for when you want to go back to the office when the times allow, or even on work from home. So look through your cabinet after this call, and pick out some of the tops that you think you can frequently wear or you like to wear for the next week or for the next 2 weeks, right? Just 9 tops, maybe maximum 10 tops, and pick up 5 bottoms, whether is it a Bermudas, whether is it a slack, whether is it a skirt or a short, or a properly dressed, a properly A-line skirt or pants or jeans, right? Forget about shoes because we aren't going out, but for meetings. But if you're at home, you can actually probably also wear a decent pair of bedroom slippers, right? Because that gives you that visual, that gives you that psychological impact that hey, I'm outside and I need to be properly behaved, in terms of my whole aura of dressing. Yeah. So I give you a very, very simple example of this lady. So she has Monday to Saturday work outfit here, and they are all different outfits, right? But the pants, the bottoms that she's wearing is consistently, she only has 3 bottoms, right? And she goes to match with 6 different tops. So does she look still professional, smart, stylish, and comfortable? Yes, I think so too. Yeah, so you don't really have to rack your brain on like what to wear, or just simply always just go with your pajamas, bottoms. You can just put on a simple pair of shorts and just don on different tops. It can be, a tee, it can be a sweatshirt, but try not to wear a t-shirt unless it's a nice neat t-shirt like the last picture. Yeah, avoid t-shirts, and I would always encourage that because that's really, really home wear. That's not work from home wear. Yeah? Okay, so this is another example of how you can actually mix and match a 5-day work week for the ladies. So if you really like those drawstring pants and those sweatpants, right, you can still continue to wear. You still look professional. What you need to do is to don on over with a cardigan or a jacket, top up. You're good to go, right? And you still feel comfortable. And this would be, the formula I would suggest that you can actually adopt, for work from home wear. And if you so need to dash out for a last minute meeting or or you have to go to school to pick up your kids, right? All you need to do is to still have that. You don't have to change out everything. You can just, change out your bottom and off. You can go in a quick second or two. Yeah. So this is the ladies. The other one is for men. So men, you are very fortunate. I've actually managed to find a lot more pictures where you can actually do a mix and match. So polo tees are actually good, not t-shirt for guys, and sweatshirts are also good for guys. Again, if you find that wearing pants is very cumbersome at home, go with a drawstring pants or chinos. Jeans might be too hot for some of us here in Singapore and in Cambodia. You can actually go with the Bermudas, right? If you have a very important meeting to attend and it's a client meeting, please, please, please put on a jacket, right, over a shirt, because that's the professional image that you want to give to your clients. Right. And if you're so lazy, so to speak, or just clueless about how you want to put together, then wear something that you can you like about that piece of clothes with the colors that you like, because the psychology of colors actually can help you to actually lift up your moods. But most importantly, it also tells a person about your personality, your personal brand. So I've actually have here some tips on what colors that you can wear. So if you like, you can actually take down this slide that will actually help you to look at what colors can I wear or should I wear today for a home for a work from home attire, right? It can be the same shirt but in a different colors, right? And colors does have is a science to it, and if you're interested, you can actually click onto this link to read out more about how colors influence perception, emotions, behavior, and even give you that energy level. Okay, I saw a question from Ming. He's asking, for men, do we have to always wear a watch to look professional? All right, I will address this question later, Ming, after the session, but thank you for the question, yeah? Okay, I'll move on. Okay, so these are some of the basic colors that you can wear, whether is it for online meeting or offline meeting or offline interview or online interview. So stick to these colors and I think you won't go wrong. So black is really a color that is quite universal. It's also a color of leadership. And if you realize, a lot of motivational speakers and some business entrepreneurs as well as CEOs, they tend to wear black a lot because it's that stature that they would be projecting, right? Blue is always the safest color to wear in most occasion, in most work occasion, including interviews and business presentation, because it invokes trust and confidence. So even if you do not have a good, well-made suit for your interview or for a business meeting, pick a blue suit, and I think it will still be safe um, going on for your business interviews or your business meetings. Yeah, gray is also another good and safe colors to wear, and gray is always a great color to wear when you need to go for business networking, especially in the finance and high tech events. And if you're in the role of uh, uh, doing a lot with numbers, right? Wear gray because that shows that you're very analytical and very logical. Pink will also be a very good color to go with your blue suit, your gray suit, but not your black suit. Yeah, white and black are always a easy color to match. Yeah, and white usually indicates sincerity and shows that you're a very fair and organized person. I would suggest to avoid wearing brown for interview and business meeting, especially if you're going for a high-tech or creative jobs interview, because brown, while it connotes safety and reliability, very grounded, it does give people the impression that you're old-fashioned and not willing to be in a sense, old-fashioned or stubborn, if I may put it that way. Okay, so these are some references of colors that you can actually wear or pick from your wardrobe to wear for your Zoom sessions or for your in-person meetings. Yeah. So I had as a personal branding person myself and a coach, right? I mean, I always find my own signature style because sometimes I have to dash in and dash out, from the tailor shop, coaching. So I always have a few sets of so-called uniform that I wear, and I know what's my best color. So when I do personal styling consultation with my clients, I actually will walk through with them what is their best colors. Are they more of a warmer color? Are they more of a cooler color? And usually at the end of the session, right, they will actually have all these color swatches that they can bring home with them, so that they can actually always do a reference check. Okay, I think I look good in this color. I don't look good in this color. So you are able to easily put your signature style together, and always add a touch of accent. For me, a mini jacket is always a must. Sometimes I will wear accessories like that. Sometimes I will wear a scarf to actually add that touch of accent, that personality to my personal brand. If I'm outside giving a talk, I will always make sure that I'll wear a comfortable pair of heels, not a new one, but a pair that has been quite comfortably worn so that I will be able to have a more stable stance, right? And of course, find my comfortable posture. And this picture was taken in a workshop session when I was sharing uh, a talk on, finding your uniqueness in your top talent strength. Yeah. Okay. So we have touched a lot on, body language. We have touched a lot on how body language gives a first impression, how clothes also exert a certain influence on that first impression, and the color psychology that comes with the clothing. Now, so that's, can be used both online as well as offline. Now, the thing that increasingly we should be more aware is, are we the same online as we are offline? So this is actually a pretty interesting illustration to say that, hey, according to your LinkedIn profile, you are a focused, disciplined achiever. But according to your Facebook, you seem to be, an alcoholic, right? So we need to be very, very careful now in this digital age whereby, access to personal information is so easily at the click of a button, at the click of Google, right? So, and this will actually affect your personal branding quite a fair bit. Yeah. So in order for you to upkeep that online professional image, right? So be mindful of these 5 points. So always make sure that you have a consistent professional photo headshot, across all your social as well as a business networking platform, right? And your professional portfolio should align with, your job scope, or maybe even your area of interest or personal beliefs and your values. Say for example, you are your job role is in you're a sustainability manager, right? And that's your profile. But on your Facebook profile, you mentioned that, you probably do not exercise, plastics recycling. So that's like a, incongruent in terms of how you are as a professional and how you are as in your personal life. So do keep that mindful in terms of things that you post on your professional network, social network, and on your personal network. So, and I will always encourage you to keep them separate. And if you must have a social or online platform, keep to just one, and that will be LinkedIn, because that will be a professional branding that you should always constantly be maintaining, right? And also ask yourself, when was the last time you updated your LinkedIn profile, yeah, and your LinkedIn page? And have you ever do a Google search about yourself and look at, what others may have commented on you, or what you have discovered about yourself? Is it the same? Is it a true reflection of who you really are? I actually did that for myself, and I'm actually quite relieved to say that it's actually quite consistent. Both, so the media actually covered us a bit on, second generation Taylor, and how I've been supporting the family, as well as, the personal branding part and the coaching part with Strength Compass. So I am the same offline, and I'm also the same online. Right. I've touched on this earlier already. So as adult learners, it's always more professional to separate your identity, your personal identity, and also your professional identity. Okay, why? Because according to a survey by Career Builder, and also Robert Walters, which is a recruitment agency, it shows that, nowadays, potential employers, hirers, and also recruiters, right? And maybe even your business partners and your clients, when they want to buy something from you, they will be doing a Google search. They will do a background search. The same for employees as well as hiring managers and recruitment agencies, right? So it's found out that research has shown that 2% of the employees, right, will use social media to actually research on candidates, right? And 60% of them will actually be looking out for the proof of qualification on social media platform, right? And the interesting part is 21% of the employees will actually be looking out for loopholes, or excuses to disqualify their employees or potential candidates from being hired. So, yeah, so this is very real, especially now in the digital age, right? And when Robert Walters also did a survey to the candidates, 74% of them responded that it is very, very important to maintain a professional image online. Yeah. Okay. So really, your online presence now, especially now, is really the quickest and easiest way for potential employers to judge you, and it is really equivalent to the first impression that you give, to others, right? So what you wear, how you carry yourself, which is the guy, a trim haircut, clean shave, warm smile, very formal dressing, which kind of like boost up your level of confidence in a firm handshake. This is actually also a research done by a Pennsylvania University, to show that how you look, how you carry yourself, which is the appearance portion of it, right, is the same as how you will be conducting yourself online, because that's the equivalent today. Yeah. So I touched on the personal brand earlier on, whereby I say when we look at a personal brand, it's really first start to look inwards. Right? In the interest of time, we're not able to do this. But really, this is a formula that I have put together for the benefit of the audience who attend today. And thank you for your time. Really, it's about having your brand identity clarified. So your brand identity tells people who you are, what you do, why you do, and how you do it. So you need not follow this format, but I'd like you guys to take away this. And if you have any questions after this session, I'm happy to take you through with this together with Keng Hua. Yeah, we can have a separate session or a future session that tackles the inward personal brand. Yeah, but I just want to share with you that however that you, whilst the body language is important, the dressing is important, right? How you carry that through is really through that clarification of who you are, what you stand for inwardly. Yeah. Okay. So this is like the last two slides. So to sum it up, really personal branding is about that self-awareness of who you are, how you look, how you behave, and your body language as well, and essentially how you carry that confidence, your competency. So it's as easy as ABC, if I may put it that way, easy to remember. Yeah. So I will leave you with this quote, because most of us are actually on Zoom. We cannot exchange name cards. So what do you leave the impression with? You leave the other party your impression with a smile, because that's your logo, as addressed earlier, right? 40% of the people who have been surveyed find that the smile is the most memorable. The personality that shines through, on a call, that is actually your business card. And how you have people feel, having that experience, on the sharing on Zoom, or even on the face-to-face personal interaction, and that becomes your trademark. And your trademark is your personal brand. Right. So with that, I can open the floor to question and answers.
Yes. Thank you, Adele, for the well-informed talks. I think for the questions that is for men, do you wear watch to look professionals?
Yeah. Okay.
Tackle these questions.
Yes, that's actually a very good question. Okay, you need not always wear watch to look professional. So it's an additional accessories for men and also for women to wear. But it does project a professionalism when you have a watch. So even if it's a Fitbit watch, it's still okay, right? Why? Because it allows you to always keep yourself in check, especially when you're on a meeting, when you're time crunch. Like, okay, you set yourself only for 1 hour. It shows discipline. It also shows that you have a sense of time, right? And people who wear watches somehow gives that psychological effect that you're very, that you observe punctuality, and you observe the time management quite well. So that it's that psychological effect. But if you do not feel comfortable and you don't have a habit of wearing watch, that is okay too. Yeah. So for Fitbit, it works fine too. Because, hey, it could also be a conversation starter. It says, hey, that's a good watch. That's an interesting watch. Oh, where did you get that watch? So that's how you break the ice. And if you're wearing a Fitbit, say, oh, oh yeah, I walked 20,000 steps today, and the other party, oh, that's incredible. How do you do that? Or if you're a cyclist and you actually have to track your heart rate. wearing accessories somehow will allow you to break the ice a little bit and be a conversational starter. For men, I think watch will be one of the things. The other one will be tie.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi Adele. I think talking about tie, that's something that I'm actually quite interesting because I don't think you have said anything about ties. So do you recommend actually men to wear tie or not to wear tie in actual fact?
Okay,
Yeah.
so it really also thank you for the question. It depends also on your profession, right? So if you're working in a bank, and the dress code from the bank, it's like really you need to be, uh, uh, it's shirt and tie. Then you have to wear a tie. So it depends firstly on the dress code that the company state. The other one is because of the profession that you're in. Like for example, if you're meeting up with a customer for potential investment opportunity, I think you should wear a tie because it shows respect, it shows authority, it shows the smartness of the individual. So it is polite to actually wear a tie. I know that a lot of people are dropping the tie and wear masks, or even before the COVID situation comes, a lot of the people are not wearing tie because of fintech. It is still okay. So if you don't wear a tie, then wear a jacket over it, especially if you need to go for, interviews and business meetings. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for the answers. If you have any question, you can actually drop in the Q&A so that Ms. Adele can actually answer you. Uh, okay, I think what we have is okay. Actually, for the colors of the tie, do you recommend is the same as what you for the shirts, or
Okay, that's also a very good question. For the
and I think the design also patterns of it. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So the size of the tie and the pattern of the tie really will also depend on your face shape and also your uh color tone. So if you're a warm color tone, you shouldn't be wearing too cool a color, right? So that's one aspect of it. The second aspect of it is when you wear a tie, your tie shouldn't be fighting the attention of your suit because if you wear too bright like a yellow tie with a black suit, then that's totally off because the attention on you will be on the tie and not on you, and the attention will be taken away of a very very nice black suit. So wear a tie color that complements your suit and your shirt instead of being too loud. Yeah. So for example, if you're having a blue dark suit, right? I would say dark blue suit, then wear a nice gray, light gray tie to go with a blue shirt or even with a pink shirt. The colors don't clash. In fact, the colors complement each other. Yeah. So when we look at personal dressing and personal style, is to not to have the colors overwhelm you, but for you instead is for you to carry the colors out, for you to carry the dressing, that personal your personal signature out. Yeah, but colors helps to enhance your facial expression, enhance your skin tone, and also to enhance your mood.
Okay. Thank you. I think being gender equality, I would ask something about for the female. What do you think about scarf for females during professionals? Yeah.
Right, right. I personally love wearing a scarf, whether it's a long scarf or a side scarf. So if you remember my first picture about me, both pictures I have a scarf. One is a drape and
Mm.
one is at the side. So that's my signature style whenever I I go for talks. If I'm without the scarf, then I'll put on my jacket, for more business workshops presentation. Right. So for ladies scarf, again, it's a personal preference. If you're not an accessories person, right, then scarf will not work for you, right? Um, if you're an accessories person, then scarf will definitely be a nice add-on, and it doesn't have to be the floral, flamboyant scarf. It can be just a single color like a pink or nice lavender or nice lilac to actually go with, a dress. So you add accent to a very simple black dress or gray dress. The purpose of a scarf, like a necklace here, is to really create that accent, that 3D effect of your wear.
Mm. Okay, thank you. I think we have a question here that do we always wear black socks and black shoe or brown shoe
Okay,
and for
so
business wear?
okay, for business wear, it's better to okay. brown shoes or black shoes,
Mm.
what you need to go with is it's not too much of a contrast. Okay, so which means to say that you don't wear a black shoe with a white socks, because that somehow doesn't seem to um, go quite well. But I would suggest that, for black shoes, right, go with a blue socks instead of a black socks. Right, for brown shoes, right, go with a beige socks.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
and shoe color, I would suggest dark brown shoe, because that's more universal. When you can go with although people may think that black is a universal color, but really in terms of a man, I will always encourage my clients to go for a dark brown shoe, because you can go with a blue suit, you can go with a black suit, you can go with a gray suit.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's really a no-no for a black shoe with a black socks.
Oh, okay. Okay. I have learned something today because I done that.
Oh, okay, no worries, no worries.
Okay, great questions from one of the participants. Is it compulsory for ladies to do makeup and for their daily work and interview? That's a good question.
Yes. I think it is compulsory in the sense that it is more of that self respect. So if you're not a fan of makeup, I mean, I'm not exactly a fan of makeup as well, then you need to make sure that you maintain the good skincare. So when you do your makeup, it's light enough, and you don't have to do a full blown makeup like that, your mascara, your eyeliner, the whole works, right? All you need to do is just a dash of blusher and a lipstick and a bit of that eyeliner will do, and that is simple enough. And it is mandatory because somehow, again, there's a psychological impact and influence from a lady who wears makeup to work and a lady who doesn't wear makeup to work. And I suggest you try that, you know, uh, for a change, to feel the difference. When you go to work one day without makeup, and when you go to work with makeup, right? How would you feel? That's one. When you go to work without makeup, do you feel sloppy? Do you feel lethargic? Do you feel like you're not charged out? Versus the day when you put on your makeup, because effort is needed, right, to put on makeup. Do you feel a lot more confident? Do you feel that, hey, there is this inner sense of brightness that just overflow, the vibrance, the just flow, and also get that feedback from others, right? Hey, when you put on makeup, right, others people will notice your friend, hey, you put on makeup today, that's nice. So if you don't put on makeup, no one will bother taking a second look at you. So I think it is more of a self-respect mandate, compulsory mandate, versus is it compulsory to wear makeup to work? Yeah.
Hmm,
And it's basic courtesy, I think, to wear makeup to work,
yep,
and even on Zoom, you know.
that's true.
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question. Okay, we have this question that how about the belt buckle? I think that's the thing. Yeah.
Okay. That's also a very interesting question. Well, we
That
have a lot of
any uh yeah, but belt buckles, I think for men's like me, I don't really have any preference. But does it make any impact on your image?
okay, so for belt preference, right? It's really okay, again, it goes with the waistline. So for guys who have a more thicker waistline, I wouldn't suggest a big belt head, right?
Mm.
Because that will actually enhance on your waistline. So when you choose your belt head, right, be mindful that it doesn't overwhelm your waistline, but choose the belt head that it minimize your waistline a little bit. Yeah, so that's the trick to having a smaller waistline. And also the size of the belt will also help to determine what kind of belt head you should be needing.
Okay, interesting. I think that's something that I have not actually.
It
Uh,
also for women as well. So for women, when you wear a dress and you want to put on a belt, right? And if you're slightly more on the round side of things, right? Don't go with big belts. Go with thinner belts.
Mm.
Yeah, then you have that visually slimming effect. So for skinnier ladies, right, if you want to put a belt, then you choose a thicker belt. So you actually will have a slightly more rounded or voluptuous, not voluptuous, slightly more rounded figurine, more like an hourglass.
Oh,
Yeah, so somehow it works the opposite way.
interesting. That's something that I think we have not actually paid any attention to.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. These are
um,
little details, and I'm glad the questions actually
mm,
came up as well. So when
ah,
we do personal styling, right, usually we play a lot with a lot of accessories like scarves, belts, and the whole
yes,
color draping. And it's very, very fun.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to learning all these tricks that actually makes me look stand up from the lips. I hope I'm dressing correct today. At least I'm doing the blue, so I'm fine. I shouldn't be getting it wrong at this point.
I'm sure all of us top up. We are all good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, I guess thank you for the time. I guess that's all the time that we have. If you have any questions, please feel free to stay back and put in your questions. And we will try to get back to you on the question itself. And in the meantime, we will have an upcoming I think coaching session with Miss Adele Chong, and we will inform you of the date and the time. And thank you for your participation. Okay, we'll see you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
You will be here for a while. If you have any questions, you can actually post it to us.